Video demo for stock number 8603. Front here we have your tongue jack. On and off switch just turns the lights on and off on the jack. Hit retract and extend to run that jack up and down. You do have a rubber cap here that will pop off. That allow you to crank that jack up and down manually in case you ever lose power. Propane tanks, two 20-pound tanks. To work those, just turn the tanks on like you would any other propane tank. Regulator here in the middle. Whichever tank that black piece is pointing at, that is which tank is going to draw first. When that tank runs out of gas, it'll automatically start drawing off the other. See the window under that handle, how it is clear now? That will fill in with black if that tank is empty, or with red, I'm sorry, if that tank is empty. So if you come out here and you see it's red and pointing at that tank, flip it over to the other side, and if the window goes back to clear, you have gas. If it goes back to red, you know that you need to get your tanks filled. Battery right there, we will have that screwed down and mount to the frame for you when you get here tomorrow. Inside here, we have a motion sensor light and another motion sensor light on the other side. The light, it's hard to see right now, but it has a three-way switch right here. All the way up is motion censored, in the middle is off, and all the way down is on all the time. Inside here, we have a few things. Electrical plug-in on the right, or on the left, I'm sorry. On the right is your cable hookup, so you'll see satellite and cable. If you're going somewhere that has satellite on site, use the top. If you go somewhere that has cables, use the bottom. You do have your over-the-air antenna to pick stuff up though too. This is your battery disconnect. With the battery with the handle locked in like it is now, battery is connected. If you want to disconnect the handle, lift up and pull it out. That will shut the camper off. Water fill here. Hook the garden hose in just like you see. And then you have your city water and fresh tank fill connection. So what that does is if it's pointing down at city water, it means it's going to bypass your fresh tank, go straight to all your appliances. If you want to fill your fresh tank up, so if you're going somewhere that does not have water on site, flip this up to the fresh tank fill and that'll start filling the tank. Hey, up here you have the controls for your solar panel on the roof of this. Button on it just to turn it on and off. Vehicle information there, VIN number, tire size, tire PSI, manufacturer date, how much the camper weighs, how much weight you can add to it, just general information like that. Slide out here. Underneath your slide out, you'll see those tracks that pull the slide out in and out, and that is where you'd want to lubricate if you ever get any metal on metal grinding noises, anything like that. Seals you see run all the way around the slide out, up both sides and across the top. Seal does three things. One is it seals the slide out when it's all the way open, seals it when it's all the way closed, and that wiper cleans any excess water, anything like that off of the slide out. If you park under a tree or anything that could leave debris on top of that slide out, you'll want to check that before you run it in. Make sure there's nothing up there that could damage it. Down here, we have your tank dumps. They're both labeled black and gray. Gray is the one on the left with the gray handle. Black is on the right with the black handle. Black is going to be septic only. Gray is going to be your shower and your faucets, so your bathroom and kitchen faucets. Gray you can leave open all the time if you're connected to sewer. Black you want to leave closed. If you leave black open all the time, solids will build up and liquids will run off and you'll have a mess you don't want to deal with. Power cord here, 30 amp cord. You get about 30 feet of it, and that is your cord that comes with it. Beside that is your black tank flush. What that made to do is clean your black tank out. So if you hook a garden hose onto it, there's a sprayer already installed in your black tank, and that'll start spraying and cleaning it out. Make sure you have your black tank open if you do that. If not, you can fill up that black tank, and all that water will have to come out somewhere, and it will come out where it's not meant to be. Jack down there, you have a jack in all four corners. Those are not meant to lift the camper. Those are just to run down to the ground and put pressure to keep the camper from rocking. Same handle you use to crank that is the same handle you use on your front jack in case you ever lose power. furnace here. This is your furnace exhaust. So if you're using your furnace, that will be pushing out heat. If you haven't used your furnace in a while, you want to check and make sure that there's no mud daubers, stink bugs, ladybugs, anything like that in those exhaust tubes. They like the smell of propane, so sometimes they'll clog it up. Bumper, you'll have bumper caps in that tomorrow. A bumper is made to store your sewer hose inside there. Ladder on the rear rated for 250 pounds. Roof is completely safe to climb on, both the slide out and the regular roof. You want to check that roof. Factory recommends every 90 days. What they mean by that is get up there and make sure none of your seals are open, none of your seams are split, anything like that. If you do notice any damage to that roof, you need to clean it and reseal it as soon as possible. You cannot use silicone on that rubber roof. You have to use something specifically made for an RV roofing. Spare tire here, full size spare, same thing as on the ground, so you don't have to worry about speed or distance restrictions. Awning, controls for the awning are going to be on the inside. And then you have your speakers, which are controlled off the radio unit on the inside also. Coax connection here. Other side's an input only, this is an output only. Excuse me. Electrical outlet there, just the regular electrical outlet. Water heater. Couple things you need to know about the water heater out here. All the controls for it are going to be on the inside, but out here you do have a pressure release valve and your drain plug right down there. The only way to drain that hot water tank is to take that drain plug out completely. If you do not take that drain plug out and open your low points or anything like that, that hot water tank could still hold water. Another water fill here. So this is for your tank, just like the one on the other side. It does the same thing. It'll fill the fresh tank below. This one's just made to where you can pour water in if you had to. If not, you can stick a garden hose directly in it. Hand crank there for your stabilizers and for your emergency jack. Steps just fold up, so lift the bottom step and they fold into the doorway. Those ears you see on the side are what hold it in place. Handle, just lift the handle, fold in either direction to close it. So now that we stepped inside here, we're going to see your monitor panels. Hold on one second, let me get the focus on this. Sorry, they gave us some new iPads. I'm trying to get used to filming with it. Battery's full. Fresh tank's 3/4. Black is empty. Gray is empty. You don't have to worry about the gray two, just the gray one. Ceiling lights, so that's your main lights. Exterior light. Going to be that outside light there. Water pump, so only if you're using the fresh tank do you need the water pump on. Water heater on gas and water heater on electric. Make sure you have water in your hot water tank before you run that on electric. Slide out in and out, so to run that slide out in, we're going to hit in on the switch. And when it gets all the way in, you'll hear a noise, and that's what tells you when to stop. When you hear that clicking sound, you want to stop. Same thing as when it runs out. And like I said about the seal, you want to make sure it's always all the way in or all the way out. Halfway in between, if it started to rain or anything, that water's just going to pour inside. Then we have your awning switch. So to run your awning, we're just going to hit extend on that. And then running it back in, you're just going to hit retract on it. And when you're retracting it, you want to hold it till you feel it pull up against the camper. And you kind of hear the vinyl pull tight. Which right now we are blocked in, but tomorrow if you want to run that fully out, we can run that out with you guys here. Let's see, fire extinguisher by the door. Standard fire extinguisher, no different than what you'd have in your home. radio unit in here. So this radio is unique for two reasons, other than being AM, FM, CD player, Bluetooth, everything like that. It is a DVD player already hooked into your television. So if you stick a DVD in there, all you have to do is change the input on your television. And then also, if you see here, you have zone A, zone B. A is going to be your interior speakers. B is going to be your exterior speakers. Just push those buttons to select which zone you want. You can play both at the same time. You do have to play the same thing on both, though. So if you're watching a movie in here, you're not going to be able to listen to the radio outside. Television does pull out. Has a full range of motion there. Magnet on that TV mount is kind of hard to see with that camera, but it's right in the middle of your screen, so it will hold that TV in place when traveling. Right here, there's a little red button right beside your coax connection. That has to be on in order for you to get TV signal. If you do not have that antenna booster on, your TV is not going to pick up any signals. So once you turn that booster on, you just have to search for signal like you normally would. Sliding door going into the bedroom. Make sure you strap that in place before traveling. They can bounce around and damage some stuff. Crank up vent here. No fan in this one, just the vent. A set of USBs and regular outlets there. That light turns on and off at the light itself. The other two in the bedroom work off of the switch here. Carbon monoxide alarm above the bed. Has a 9-volt battery in it, just like you would at your house. The window here, sorry about this, sorry it's so shaky, is an emergency exit. To work that exit, push the handle towards the window, then you feed it out in case of an actual emergency. Pull the red tab, the screen will come out and you can climb out. If you want to use it as a vent, perfectly fine to use it as a vent. If somebody accidentally pushes the handle out too far, it's not going to fall out. It is on a hinge. You just got to go outside and feed the handle back through. Blinds in these campers are very simple to work. Pull down and push up into place. If you ever have one that does not want to stay in place, you'll see that they have strings on both sides. If they don't want to stay in place, loosen those screws a little bit, pull the string down to add more tension, and tighten it back up. Thermostat here. So to work this, you have to hold that on down until it lights up like that. It's hard to see, but when it's flashing F like that, that means your furnace is heating up. Over here, it just won't show up on these cameras for some reason. It says heat, and down here, it shows your fan speed. So to change your fan speed, you hit the fan button. And then you run through your cycles right here. And this has a cool, which is your AC, heat, your furnace, fan mode, which is just the fan, and the final mode is a dry mode, and that's like a dehumidifier for it. And we'll go through that again when you guys are here. Sorry, that sometimes those LEDs just don't show up on these cameras. Smoke alarm there, just a standard smoke alarm, 9-volt battery in it. Another light there, just individually controlled. Chairs are recliners. You'll see that little black handle in the corner. Just pull that out to recline your chairs. And down here we have your LP alarm. So that LP alarm will go off for one of two reasons. First reason would be a low battery. This does not have a battery in it like your smoke alarm or CO alarm has. This is wired to the battery on the front of the camper. So if you have this set in your driveway or you're camping somewhere without power and you hear a beep every 30-40 seconds, it's just it warning you that it has a low battery. The second reason it'll go off would be a propane leak. If that's the case, it's going to beep and it will not stop. It will keep going and keep going. It will run you out of here quickly. If that happens, you need to open up all your doors and windows, shut your propane tanks off until you figure out what caused the issue. Refrigerator here, 12-volt refrigerator. So what that means is as long as you have power, this refrigerator will work. When you're plugged into electric, there's a piece in this camper that converts the 110 to 12 volts, so it'll keep your battery charged. If you're driving down the road, this will work off your battery. So this refrigerator will work anytime as long as you got a good battery on there. Adjuster knob right there for the temperature, and that controls both the top and bottom temperature of the refrigerator. here we have another vent. Crank up with the handle, push the button there, turns the fan on. So this one is an exhaust vent. Microwave, just a standard microwave. Below it you do have an exhaust and light. Cooktop here. The electric cooktop. Push in and twist to the flame position, and then hit the knob on the left. With those red lights on, that means the handle is turned on. So if you ever come by and one of those is glowing red and you don't have a cooktop going, that means somebody actually turned on one of the knobs. To light the oven, to light the oven, open your door first thing, push and twist to the flame position. You have to hold that down and hit your sparker over here. So let me see if I can get the camera at an angle where you can see this. Oh, my video's going to change directions for a second. Sorry about this, people. Okay. This is a little tricky. So once that oven's lit, you need to hold the button down for about 10 seconds. If you let off of it as soon as you light it, it won't sense a flame down there and it'll shut itself off that way. Make sure it's not just dumping propane in your camper. Then let off the button and twist to whatever temperature you want, and you'll see the flames come down the burner like so. Alright, I'm going to flip the camera back in a different direction now, so I might get a little squeamish again for a second. Stepping into the kitchen area, or the bathroom kitchen area. Kitchen faucet in the back center. Nothing really special to tell you about it. It does have the pull down head with the sprayer nozzle and everything like that. Stepping into the bathroom. Let's see what we got in here. Toilet, just a regular foot flush toilet. So to flush it, push your pedal down like so. If you're going to be using this toilet, you need to make sure you're using two things. One is RV toilet paper. The other one is RV toilet chemical. You need to make sure you're using both for two reasons. The RV toilet paper dissolves better than regular toilet paper. The RV chemical does two things. One is a deodorant, and the second, it is a digestive. So it keeps your smell down and also keeps everything liquefied and makes it easy to dump. Ground fault outlet there, just like a standard ground fault. At your house. Another vent fan in the bathroom. Shower here. Shower is nothing really unique compared to a normal shower. The only thing special about it is you see the button on the bottom of the shower head that allows you to turn the shower head on and off without having to shut the water on and off. So if you're camping somewhere where you're using your own supply, you can get wet, shut that off, soap up, and kick it back on without having to waste any water, and it will keep the temperature the same. That way you don't have to mess with the knobs, and you don't have super hot water or super cold water when you're coming out. Light switch here does your bathroom lights. Forgot to mention up here, this is your AC. It does have a rewashable filter in it. Down here, we have your fuse panel and breaker box. So we got all your breakers on the left, which is going to be your main, your outlets, your microwave, water heater, converter, and then outside refrigerator. This one here, we have your 12 volt fuses, so that's stuff that works off of gas or 12 volt. It's going to be your control center, which is all those switches and stuff, bathroom and bunk lights, which you don't have the bunk, your furnace and your air conditioner, radio, TV booster, your refrigerator, slide out lights, your kitchen bedroom lights, your awning, and then the slide out itself. Below that is your converter, and that's what keeps your battery charged. So when you're plugged into power, that will convert 110 to 12 volt, and 12 volt into 110, and keep your battery charged while you're parked. I believe that covers everything in your guys' unit. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to give us a call. If not, like I said, I'll be the one doing your hookup tomorrow, so I should be able to answer any questions you guys may have. Thank you so much for choosing Summit RV.